A new question. I was watching your YouTube video on main drain installation in vinyl pools. My question is, with two gaskets, one above the liner and one below, how do you keep the below the liner gasket in place when you lay out the liner? Silicone, adhesive, tape, or skill?
The answer to that question is yes. The best way to hold that gasket in place is to pre-do it. Don't wait till liner day to put that gasket in place. The best way to do it would be to use some type of a silicone-based adhesive and glue it in place, let that glue set up. Because if you do it the day of, and here's where the luck part comes in, and say it's a wet environment and there's groundwater, oftentimes that gasket will float up because it's cork. And if there's any water underneath there, as you're putting the liner in, the gasket will kind of float up and move out of the way. And that's where you have to be really good at and skilled at cutting a hole in the liner and moving that gasket back in place. So the best answer would be to pre-glue it down. Now, you could use anything to pre-glue that down as long as it holds. If you're doing it the day of, I would always use and recommend a heavy based caulk. Something like Boss makes a product 801, which is a really thick silicone base, and once you get it adhered together, it's very unlikely to peel up. But if you just go to the local hardware store and buy your cheapest caulk that you would caulk the windows with, which is a really loose based silicone, you're not going to get real good adhesion real quick, and you might have that risk of that wandering of the main drain gasket. If that's all you have, I'm going to recommend you do that first. Get that down. If it's liner day, get it glued down at the beginning, clean the pool, get it prepped, and then put the liner in. Don't wait till just before liner to put it in. So best answer, heavy base silicone. Do it ahead of time. Prep it day before, 3 days before, 10 days before, depends on where you're at and how you're doing it. And then just make sure that it is in fact secure before you put it in.